How you doing, YouTube? It's preetman23, and I'm here with waliasimar1, and I'm bringing you a Wrestling Week in Review number 1, and our first segment is about Raw, and the first segment about in Raw was that Punk comes out and he admits that the R-Truth and The Miz were right and there is a conspiracy, and Triple H comes out and says that if he can't get through his thick head that Triple H isn't involved in the conspiracy, then that's his fault. But CM Punk says he did realize that Triple H is not in the conspiracy, but someone higher up is in the conspiracy. And then John Laurinaitis comes out and says that they're going too far about this, and that really makes me a little suspicious about John Laurinaitis. And then to the end of this segment, Triple H says someone is going to be fired at the end of the show, and CM Punk is watching John Laurinaitis and Triple H like a kid watches Sesame Street. And the first match after that is Sheamus, Justin Gabriel, and Air Boom versus Wade Barrett, Christian, and David Otunga and Michael McGillicuddy. And the winner is Sheamus, and he hits his finisher on Otunga for the 3 count. The second match is Alberto Del Rio versus John Morrison, and Alberto Del Rio wins the match in about 90 seconds. 83 if he got it 83 seconds less, and it would have been one of the fastest. It would have been the record for the fastest match ever. The fastest was 8 seconds by Kane versus Chavo Guerrero at WrestleMania, and he won it by submission with John Morrison tapping out to the armbar. And the other matches were Kelly and Eve versus Beth and Natalya, and Eve gets the roll up on Natalya to get the win. And then Hugh Jackman comes out, and Vicky Guerrero interrupts, and she's screaming like a hawk. And then Vicky gets in the ring, and she just really compliments Hugh Jackman, and she said she agrees with People's Magazine about him being the sexiest man alive. And then Dolph Ziggler says that it was many years ago that they said that. And I noticed that Dolph's face looks a little chubbier, and Dolph plays mind games with Hugh. And Hugh Jackman says he's gonna find an underdog to beat Dolph Ziggler, and he brings out a poster, and it says Zack Ryder greater than Wolverine. And then here's the match. It wasn't after the segment. It was about 30 minutes after the segment. It was Ryder wins with the Rough Rider to beat Dolph Ziggler, but also winning because Hugh Jackman almost fractures Dolph Ziggler's jaw with the uppercut. And then JR interviews Mark Henry, and he asks, how does it feel to prove all your naysayers wrong? And Mark Henry says, you're saying naysayers like you want one of them. And then he asks JR to apologize, and JR does not want to, and so he starts choking JR. And then Jerry Lawler comes out, and he persuades Mark Henry to not choke him out, and Mark Henry listens, but he says that now Jerry Lawler is going to be the victim, and first he World Strongest slams him in the ring, and then he World Strongest slam Jerry Lawler through the table. And then the main event is CM Punk and John Cena versus The Awesome Truth, The Miz, and R-Truth. And CM Punk wins by hitting the GTS on The Miz after knocking both R-Truth and The Miz together with an Irish whip. And after that, Triple H says that it was a good match by both of them, but that The Miz and R-Truth were fired after he fined them $250,000, and he says he accepted their apology. And Miz and Truth, and then you go to a scene where the roster was all the WWE roster was watching through the TVs in backstage, and they were all flabbergasted. And then Triple H walks in backstage, and the Miz and Truth get mad, and they run through and they attack Triple H, but they get mobbed by the rest of the Raw roster, and Triple H really goes crazy. and he does not like it, and he screams, "Get him out of my house! Get him out of my arena!" And they get thrown out into the parking lot. And that's it for the Raw segment. Thank you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is waliasimar version 2 with the SmackDown review. So SmackDown starts with Johnny Ace in the ring, surrounded by the entire SmackDown roster. He says he wants to address the roster over what he believes that Triple H has lost control of WWE. He announces Mark Henry as the World Heavyweight Champion. Henry says it took him 15 years to win the title, and it's going to take 15 years for someone to take it away from him. Triple H comes out, immediately interrupted by Christian. Christian wants another title shot and gets it. So, after that segment is over, the first match is Heath Slater versus Sheamus. And as expected, Sheamus wins this match by hitting his finisher, the bro kick, on Heath Slater and getting the pinfall. Backstage, Christian is trying to get people to help him in his lumberjack match. Coming back from the break, the second match is Barrett versus Gabriel. Barrett wins this match in less than 5 minutes by hitting his finisher Wasteland on Gabriel. Although it was a good match. And after that match, a repeat of Monday. I think a repeat of Monday is announced. Rhodes versus Orton. Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton is announced for later tonight. The third match is a Divas match, which includes AJ and Caitlyn versus the Divas of Doom, Beth Phoenix and Natalya. As expected, Beth Phoenix and Natalya pick up the victory after Beth hit her finisher, Glam Slam. So the Divas of Doom win that match. The fourth match of the night is Orton versus Cody Rhodes in a non-title match, and winner via disqualification is Cody Rhodes because Orton hit Cody Rhodes punching Cody Rhodes with his mask. And after this match, Cody receives RKO on the table. And now we move on to the next match, which is the real Sin Cara, versus Daniel Bryan. And during the middle of this match, the fake Sin Cara shows up and interferes in the match by throwing the real Sin Cara off the top rope, and he falls to the ground. So when Sin Cara falls to the ground, the fake Sin Cara jumps in and hits Daniel Bryan with a Swanton Bomb to get the victory. So the fake Sin Cara picks up the victory. And now, the main event of the night. The lumberjack match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Mark Henry versus Christian. And as expected, the winner of this match is the one and only Mark Henry. Mark Henry wins this match after Christian tries to run away, but is dragged back into the ring by Sheamus and is hit by the World's Strongest Slam by Mark Henry. Now after Mark Henry picks up the victory, Orton comes in and starts punching Henry with his punches, and the show ends with Randy Orton in the ring and Mark Henry outside the ring. So that is the SmackDown review for this week's SmackDown. Thank you. This is waliasimar version 2.